The possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
Welcome back. It's Andrew, it's Heidi, and it's Never Tell Me the Odds, where we're lying because we are going to tell you the odds 3 times in a row, in fact. What's up, everybody?
Spoiler, the odd is Andrew.
Yes, that's true. We should start a spin-off show called Never Tell Me the Evens, where it's just people saying even numbers, things that are divisible by 2. And it's just a math-centric show. We will lose every subscriber, but it'll be worth it for that pun alone. But welcome back to Never Tell Me the Odds. You know the rules. We give you some odds, Star Wars-related odds, not math-related, we promise. And you guys just have to tell us what the odds are of them happening. We're going to chip in our 2 cents, but we like hearing from everybody else, too. All right, so if you saw us last time, Heidi had 3 awesome odds, and now I'm going to throw out some odds to everybody here. And these are ones that make me excited in my dorky little Star Wars brain. Things that I would love to see. Let's go with this one first. What are the odds, Heidi, that Maz Kanata shows up in the Skeleton Crew?
Okay. When does it take place?
That's a great question. It is during the Mandalorian time frame, I think. I'm pretty sure it fits in there.
I don't know, because isn't it like Voyager and Star Trek Voyager in the Star Wars universe where they're lost in space somewhere?
Yeah, apparently they're lost. It's going to be a very Goonies kind of experience where I think there's a treasure hunt happening. I don't know. They've been real vague on what Skeleton Crew's about. We don't even know why it's called Skeleton Crew. But I just figured Maz Kanata's been around for a long time, so...
Yeah. I know. Where has she been? So I don't know. If they were taking place in universe, I would say there was a good chance of that. But the fact that they're going to be lost somewhere, I don't know. I think Skeleton Crew means small. I'm thinking like all the adults were killed. The crew's being run by children now, and they're lost in space. Unless they meet Maz Kanata along the way. I'm just gonna go 15%. Only because I don't see her lost in space somewhere. And I mean, I could see her going to that dead whale planet with Sabine and Ahsoka. Maybe that's where they end up. But I don't know. I don't know anything about Maz Kanata's background, so maybe you're right. Maybe she's from the unknown regions where they're lost. So I'm just gonna go 15%.
That's fair. I'm going to go low, too. Maz, I think in Force Awakens, Maz is supposed to be like 1,000 years old.
Right.
So she's been around the block, but she does seem to kind of stay put. She's got her castle on Takodana. She does her thing there. I don't think we're going to see Takodana. I thought maybe like she might talk to Jude Law on like a hologram or something. But I also don't think it's super likely. It's a shame because I made the odd mostly because I want to see her come back. Like it really feels like they made that character and they specifically made her so old so that whatever era it is, they can toss her in. But they forgot about her like that. And now I feel, I could be wrong, but I feel like if they were to approach Lupita Nyong'o again, she'd be like, no thanks, you guys had your chance, right? So I'm going to go low too. I'm going to say it's around 12% that we see her. But Dan, that would be great. I would love to see her. Maybe they'll put her in the Acolyte.
That would be cool.
All right. So maybe no Maz, but here's the thing. We are getting, apparently, we got to use our grains of salt, Heidi, because we all know if I say to you, Heidi, there's a Star Wars movie coming out, what's the proper reaction these days?
From me or from everybody?
From everybody.
Oh, I know. That's split. I think for like, I hate Disney. I don't know.
Well, that's true, especially on Twitter. But yeah, most of the time, I mean, when I hear that news, I'm given everything that's happened in the past several years, I think the majority of the reactions is prove it, right? Like we'll believe it when we see it.
I'd be thrilled, but I don't know.
Exactly. I mean, I am over the moon for any new movie, but they lost that trust of us to be excited off the bat. Now it's like, show me the marquee where it's playing at the cinema and I can go, and then I'll get excited. But apparently, grain of salt's in the pot here. We are getting a Rey movie, right? A new movie starring Rey, and she's got the new Jedi Order going, and it's even supposedly filming this April, starting April 7th. They start filming this motion picture, which boggles my mind. Again, I'll believe it when I hear it, but let's say this is real, Heidi. Let's say it's a real thing and Daisy Ridley's back and all of that is happening. What's that?
Can we stop?
Yeah.
I gotta talk to you about something.
Sure.
Stop. Okay. Can you stop recording?
Oh, I can, let's see. No problem. Let's see. I can pause. All right. So this Rey movie is apparently coming out, Heidi. I don't know. We'll see. If it does, though, what are the odds that our good friend John Boyega comes back for a cameo, just a cameo, in this film?
Well, if Force Awakens didn't have hadn't had Han Solo, or Rise of Skywalker hadn't had Han Solo, I would have said 30%. Because I know, I guess John Boyega isn't the biggest fan of the sequels now, but because we have Harrison Ford come back, I'm gonna go 60%. Because you'd be surprised how someone who says I'm never doing this again comes back, and I think even the great Sir Alex Guinness himself came back, and he absolutely hated Star Wars.
Yeah, that's true. He came back twice. He popped in 2 more times. So that's a really great metric, using him and using Harrison. I never would even thought of that. It's a great way to look at it. I'm going to go... Sorry, what's that?
Go ahead. I'll add extra afterwards.
All right. I'm going to go pretty high here. I'm going to go 83%. Okay. And here's why. It's... Boyega really got done dirty by this new trilogy. And he has been vocal about that. He has been vocal with saying, listen, I don't love what they did with Finn. I really don't. And it started off so strong, and then it really just petered out, and they bait and switched the character. Like they did a lot of dirty tactics, Disney, and I understand completely why Boyega would be upset about it. However, I know based on things he has said in interviews, a person that he really just adores and loves working with and gets along with, like famously, is Daisy. Right? The two of them were like just best of pals making the thing. They got along so well, and they loved working together, especially because the majority of the time they worked together was on Force Awakens, which Boyega would probably say is the favorite one that he worked on. So there might be that little nugget of, okay, I don't have to deal with J.J. Abrams or Rian Johnson anymore. I get to work with Daisy again. I get to do less than I had to do before, and it'll remind me of the good old Force Awakens days, because I'm sure he did really treasure all the times he got to work on Force Awakens. So I feel like by the time the movie is rolling into production here, which is sooner than apparently I thought, I feel like he's going to get in that mindset of, for a cameo, sure, I'll jump in front of the volume with Daisy for 2 days and, do whatever. Because I think he also understands, as much as Finn was done dirty by the story, Finn has a huge fan base, and all of those fans will be asking that question throughout the movie. Where's Finn? Right. Where's Poe? Where's Biston the Space Monkey, right? We all want to know where these characters are. So I think he, not only does he love and appreciate working with Daisy, I think he loves and appreciates his fans, and he'll want to get that nugget in there of like, here I am, it's me, Finn. I'm doing okay, and I don't know, Chancellor now or something. I don't know what he is, but I would love to just have that little glimpse of him just as a cameo, because I know he probably doesn't want to come back and be a main character again.
Well, Chance just popped in with a news update.
Oh, what's the update, Chance?
I might have to go 0% because apparently, according to Bespin Bulletin, they are postponing the Rey movie, and now they're going to do a season 4 Mandalorian instead. That's the rumor on Bespin Bulletin. So if I got that wrong, I'm sorry. I'm just going by Bespin Bulletin what they said.
Wow.
So
I mean,
it might not start April 6th. I don't know. They might be starting on a season 4 Mandalorian.
Well, I mean, it goes back to what we said, right? Like, look how not fazed we are by the fact that a fully announced, partially cast, ready to rock movie with Star Wars in the title has now suddenly been indefinitely postponed, right? Like, it's par for the course now. So that's the unfortunate state of things. I hope that they make it. I hope they make a ton of movies because we need them. We need them back in our lives. All right, one last odd. Ready?
Yes.
This one, I don't know if too many people care about this one, but it's something that I've always kind of had at the forefront of my mind here. What are the odds that in 2024, which is coming up, what are the odds the mainline Marvel Star Wars comic will start telling stories that are set post Return of the Jedi?
Well,
chances like, well, comics aren't my thing, so I'm just gonna get in front of the camera and show you why comics are my thing.
Look, it's Uranus. Okay.
That planet is not canon yet.
Well, I mean, I would say that's very likely. I'm gonna go 70%. There's only, especially with the Bandoverse being post Return of the Jedi.
Right, that's true. That's a great point, Heidi. Tying in with the Mandalorian would be so smart. Like, they do those comics, and I guess people buy them. I don't see the appeal, but they do comics where it's like, hey, here's all of the Mandalorian season 1 as a comic, and it's like, I wouldn't spend a penny on that, but I'm sure people do. But I mean, why not tell stories in that sandbox through comics too? And the thing with these mainline Star Wars comics that they've been really good at is they've just been really good at filling up the gaps between the movies. We had a ton of issues set between A New Hope and Empire, because that's 3 years worth of story, right? And it makes sense that Luke and Leia and Han spent 3 years bopping around the galaxy doing a whole bunch of things. But in 2020, when they relaunched it, everything has been set after Empire and before Jedi. So Han's not around, he's frozen, and it's just been like Leia and Lando and Luke doing stuff. But the thing is, they're starting to have almost as many issues in that run as the first one did. And every time I read one, I'm sitting there, I'm like, guys, there was only a year between Empire and Jedi. Like, come on, let's wrap this up now. And thankfully, they're starting to talk about, like, ooh, the second Death Star. So I'm like, okay, finally. And I think that it would behoove them as storytellers to finally just move past that, especially because fans love the intrigue of that era. It's so mysterious to us, right? That post Battle of Endor era. We're just like, what happened? Where did they go after that? What did they do? And it's a great place to tell Luke, Leia, and Han's story, because you don't need to worry about Harrison Ford being like, no, I don't want to do that, because you just draw Harrison Ford. So I am hoping they do it. I am going to guess that in 2024, the likelihood of them getting there is about 78%. Because who knows? Well, comics are baffling, and they like to stretch things out. So I'm not going to go higher than 78.
Well, I mean, I would like to see stories about, I guess Lando and Luke went on a lot of adventures together after Return of the Jedi. I would like to see some of those. I know maybe find out how Jana is Lando's daughter, or
Right.
If that's still canon, I don't know. That's what it was supposed to be, and it kind of got cut. Maybe who Finn's parents were. Any connections that I don't know, did Rey make contact with Kylo Ren when they were children? They've always had this connection in the Force. There's a lot of stories they could tell post Return of the Jedi, or you can do the story about go into more depth and detail about Luke training Leia and visions that she saw. So yeah, did I say 70%, or I thought I did?
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and granted, I don't know if you feel the same way, Heidi, but all of those stories sound amazing. And even though I framed the odd around the comics, if I had a choice, I would much rather see them tell those stories through a Clone Wars-esque animated series, right? With like instead of a comic. Do you feel the same way?
I mean, honestly, the one thing I want to see, it's in the EU and Legends. It's not canon. I want to see Leia interact with Ghost Anakin.
Yes.
I would find that a very interesting story.
Oh, definitely, right? Because there's a lot of baggage there for both of them to unpack. That would be a great conversation. And I think telling it in comics would be fine, but man, if they could get like Filoni's team and just make an animated series like they did with Clone Wars and tell those stories, like I don't know a single person who wouldn't want that show to be a thing.
Right.
So,
or like Marvel, Tales of Jedi or something.
Yeah, anything, right? Something just of that caliber to really bring those little hidden nuggets of this timeline to the forefront. So, Marvel, if you're listening, move past Jedi, but Filoni, if you're listening, scoop up that time period and make a cartoon. Like,
I mean, a little off topic. I would love AU stories, like what if, like Marvel has done. Like, I love a story about Leia, the farmer's daughter, or Luke, Prince of Alderaan.
Mm-hmm. They when they did that in Legends, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think they could definitely do it here, especially with the comics, how they are. It's so they can do anything with the comics. You just hire somebody who knows how to draw Kylo Ren's face. Boom, you can do anything. Right. So,
or what if Luke? What if Anakin and Padme ended up raising Luke and Leia?
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that. Right. What if Ben never turned to the dark side? Then what would Snoke have ended up doing? What would Palpatine have ended up doing? There's a lot of great what if stories in there that they can do. So here's hoping they get on it, because they've really been stagnating in that period between Empire and Jedi, and it's like, this has been fun. Now let's move forward or backward or sideways or somewhere, right? Let's just move out of this and try something new with the comics. So maybe.
I'm sorry.
Maybe
one more idea, and you can still stick with Reylo. Master Skywalker and his apprentice Ben Solo battle Emperor Palpatine and his Sith apprentice Rey Palpatine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Right? That's totally the best ingredient for a what if story, is to just take a character and flip the script on them, and that's perfect because you do it both ways. That would be a lot of fun.
But that's believable because, she was a child of darkness, he was a child of light, so that makes sense.
Yes. And in fact, I just saw a really cheesy but fun new horror movie called It's a Wonderful Knife. And the killer wears a costume that literally just looks like Kylo Ren's costume, but all white.
Okay.
So if Kylo Ren ever became like a Jedi Master or something, there you go. His wardrobe is already waiting on the studio lot of whatever it was that made that movie. All right, everybody. Well, those have been the odds. Now it's time for you to tell us what you think the odds are of those crazy things I just mentioned happening. Until next time, thanks for joining us, and may the force of others be with you.
And you as well.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.